And hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee, Kegs, and Kriegsspiel. I'm your host, Marshall, and today we're going to just talk about a variety of things going on with the International Kriegsspiel Society. So I don't have a specific topic in mind, but I do have some good chisme for everyone, which means gossip. And let me see here. My display, my video capture isn't working. But that's probably an advantage because it means you can't see my face. If you're watching on the YouTube, if you happen to be in the Discord, I turned on my camera. And actually, that's why it's not working. Let me see if I can adjust that in the Discord. If I turn my face off on the Discord, can I turn it on in OBS? And I don't think so because I launched it that way. So I'm going to leave my face on in the Discord. And actually, I should share my screen in the Discord, but people can watch that on YouTube. So I'll turn my face back on in Discord, and you're not going to see how handsome I look today if you're on the YouTube. That's nothing but a tragedy, but there's nothing we can do about that. On the other hand, I could put the screen up there briefly. Let's turn that back on. I'm there. And you're going to get a look at Peter here. This is his chance to turn off his camera. But no, we're gonna scare you both. Hi, Peter. How you doing?
Spectators.
Look how dark I am.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried we're going to lose people here if we're going to actually be showing our faces. But
Hello, everyone.
we
There
definitely
we
look
go.
like Kriegsspielers.
Oh, we
Not
definitely are
not now.
Kriegsspielers. Yeah,
Uh,
we're not supermodels by any stretch, but that's okay. Uh,
Genetically modified to push blocks.
that's right. You know what? Might not look like much, but this is what peak performance looks like. If Kriegsspiel were an Olympic sport, we would be the Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt of Kriegsspiel.
Yeah, well,
So
we're like the medieval longbowmen that trained at 6 years old. You know, but we trained at Kriegsspiel, and this is basically what you get to when you're around 50. You know, your
right,
muscles and your bone structure can fall to this kind of
right,
look.
right. Well, I mean, these fingers are
Yeah.
absolutely perfect for pushing blocks. So, yeah, this is just a lifetime of training, and yeah, we are peak performance. But anyway, let's get into let's get into some things here. In 2 weeks, we've got Grand Waterloo, so you're probably wondering why I have this module, this map open. The reason is so you have something to look at besides my face or a blank screen. And the other reason is I'm going to talk about the K23 system because that's being published today. We're going to talk about that too. But first of all, Grand Waterloo is coming up. And Grand Waterloo is going to be this really awesome, awesome game. I think we have about 60 players signed up. All of the sign up slots are full. However, if you didn't get one of the coveted sign up spots, you still want to show up for this event. First of all, out of 60 people, someone's going to be absent, okay? Someone's going to have something come up, they're not going to make the game. Or they're going to drop out, or something's going to happen. So we could probably slot people in at the very last minute. That's a possibility. The other thing is we're going to need help. We need about 10 umpires. We could use about 10 more people. Maybe it's less now because we've been trying to recruit for umpires. But as of about a week ago, I know we still needed 10 assistants. And you can come in, you can be part of this, and you can help out. And helping out is actually really fun. You get to be basically a dungeon master if you've ever done D&D, or a game master, whatever you want to call it, for 2 to 4 players. And that's not a bad experience. It's actually fun. You get to go, you get to mess with their head a little bit. Well, you see dust over here at this distance. What do you do? And the player's like, I don't know. And that's kind of fun to do. You also see the inside baseball. You see how we do everything. We'll train you. We'll teach you everything you need to know. We can cover that in about 10 minutes, maybe less. So it's not a hard job. It's fun, and you get to be involved. And the coolest part, I think, is you're going to be part of history because this is the largest Kriegsspiel ever attempted in the civilian world. I believe it's the largest one. The largest one ever played in real life, I think, was about the same size, maybe a little smaller. And it was played about, it was just pre-COVID in Germany somewhere. It was a D-Day scenario. But this is probably going to be the biggest one. So it's going to be absolutely historic. It's certainly the biggest one online, and it has people from all around the world. So there's no geographic constraints. It's going to be a really cool game. It's our premier effort for the year. And we're going to be playing it on Foundry, or so we hope. So here's where we get to the Chisme part, right? So I heard that we're having some issues with getting the Foundry module working. If the Foundry module doesn't work, we do have a plan B. We have a backup where we're going to use Tabletop Simulator. Now that means you as a player or participant or umpire will need to have Tabletop Simulator. But we're still going to try to use Foundry. I haven't got a report back as to whether or not Foundry will work. We believe it will. And personally, even I haven't been called to assess the situation. But once I'm called in, even I might have some ideas that we can, make Foundry work for the players, even if the umpires have to use Tabletop Simulator or something for rolling dice or whatever. Anyway, it's a team effort. We'll probably solve the issues. I believe we're going to run on Foundry, and the cool thing about that is you don't need anything. You just log into Foundry. You don't need any software. You do want Discord, of course. But Foundry, it's basically online, so you just log in online. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you play. We send you the link and you join. So it's going to be a really fantastic experience. If you can't play or join or anything or whatever, if you can't stay for the whole event, I understand. We will be live streaming it. I'm going to be commentating the battle. I believe Dave Pumphouse is going to join me for that. I wouldn't mind if I have someone else, someone who really, really knows their Kriegsspiel, to hop in there with me. I ought to go back at Jim Ozakowski and see if he'll do it. But in any case, yes, we're going to have people on commentating, including myself, for the whole battle. So you'll get to kind of see it as a sporting event, blow by blow, play by play, everything that's happening as the battle develops. Now, it is not exactly the historic battle. We do have commanders-in-chief on both sides. We do have players who are doing some sort of pre-run-up stuff. In fact, I think at least one sort of pre-battle may have been fought already, and the result will carry over to the Grand Waterloo event. So it's going to be a little bit different from history. So again, absolutely worth it to join and watch and participate. So there's that. All right. Some other things. Recently, we've had some issues in the IKS. And Peter, by the way, if you want to speak, raise your hand or holler at me, or just straight interrupt me. It's not rude. It's no problem. I don't want to cut you out.
Okay.
I'm just on
I was
a roll.
waiting for you. I was waiting for you to take a breath, but I realised you do that in and out speak.
I do. Do you have anything on Grand Waterloo while we're here before I go to the juicy stuff?
No, not really. Obviously taking part, and I'm just waiting for the briefing to come through, and then I can work it out from there. But the Foundry looked really good. Do just like using the tabletop simulator, but I guess Foundry is a little bit easier for the umpires to facilitate things, and not everyone needs Foundry. Well, yeah, you just use your web browser, so it's a much easier medium for people. But
it has the automatic fog of war, so it eliminates the need for screenshots, which is a big part of the work that we have to put in. So the turns should move faster as well. So it should be a smoother experience. Okay, let's talk about some real chisme here. Recently, we have had some issues, some problems with players, and this has been an issue over the past couple months, where it seems that we've got some really cool, badass edgelords who have wandered into the IKS and are pushing some boundaries, particularly in dignified discussions, but sometimes elsewhere. I'm not going to get into any names or anything like that. I do want to kind of put people on notice, though, and just say, look, we as admins are watching, and we're taking notes, and we're observing behavior of certain individuals across other servers, and that informs the decisions that we make. We have taken action to sort of clean some things up. We generally handle these things very quietly. We don't announce it or tell anyone. But I just want people to know, look, we're active and we're actively moderating. Also, people can flag things. They can point things out to us. If somebody is pushing a conversation in a direction that makes you rather uncomfortable, if you think it violates rule number one, Rule number one of the IKS, I will be pleasant and polite with all members. And that includes doing things such as, I'll just say edgelord stuff, right? I'll leave it at that. But there are people who are really pushing some boundaries of what's considered appropriate in polite society. And it's political often, or it's historical stuff where they're kind of pushing what most people would view as conspiracy stuff, or I don't know. Look, here's the deal, right? If you have to ask yourself, am I going to get in trouble if I share this? Or can I say this at work? Or would my mother like to see a copy of this conversation? Or the police? If the answer to any of those is no, in fact, if the answer to any of those is a moment of hesitation on your part, don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Because being edgy in the IKS, it's like, can you do it? Well, sort of. Like, technically, yes, right? It's like drinking lava. Can I drink lava? Yes, but only once. And it's the same thing with us, okay? Can I post, a Holocaust joke or a Hitler meme or somebody being wiped out and, being killed in battle or whatever? Yes, you can do that, but you'll only do it once. And people have to understand that we kind of have a very low to zero tolerance for a lot of that stuff. Peter, what do you got, man?
Well, I wanted to say that just to everyone listening that the perception would be perhaps that maybe we all align to one political side of things, and that's not actually the case. As Marshall knows, I have different views to a lot of the guys in the admin thing, and we do thrash things out in there. So
yeah, we do.
when things are being processed, it's not just we're all on the left, and therefore everything that is set as perceived as a right-leaning comment is therefore
yeah, we do. We go back and forth on how to deal with each situation individually, and you're correct, Peter. Even though I'm pretty hard left in real life, the fact is I often find myself defending the right because I want the group to be fair and balanced. I don't want to cast people out. I don't want to ban people. I really I like to save people rather than just execute them. I'm very progressive in that way, but at the same time, we have to keep a safe environment for everybody. And there are just certain things we don't want. We just don't want certain kinds of toxicity here. We are a signatory of the Derby House Principles. We are involved with professional wargamers and professional wargaming groups. We want these professional wargamers to maintain their involvement with us, but they can't do that and won't do it if we're posting ultra-right content or extreme ultra-leftist content or inappropriate, age-inappropriate content, things like that. Anything that's going to put off an outside professional or professional organization, we cannot allow that in our community. We just can't. So please don't do that, because it will result in us coming down and having to deal with it. At a minimum, we'll have to delete the content. At a minimum, and I've done that often. But if there are habitual offenders or people we think that are pushing the edge, if you will, edgelords, Just don't do it here. Just don't do it. Hey, I had one member contact me just today, in fact, and said, you know what, the best thing I did was I deleted the discussion channel. Do it. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to stay out of trouble, right? You know, look, if you have a problem with drinking, the best thing you can do is stay out of the bar, right? Stay out of the pub. And that's actually a great advice. That's really smart advice. We want everyone here, and we're okay with people who have diverse opinions. We understand we're an international community. There are people out there with a wide range of political philosophies and ideas. You know, there are people out there who support Russia's war in Ukraine. There are people on the other side who feel completely the opposite about it, who think, oh my gosh, this is awful. You're entitled to your personal opinions on these things. You are absolutely entitled to have them. But we don't want the IKS to be a community where we literally make war on each other or push, all of this stuff on each other to the point that we're offending outsiders and we're offending each other and we're having these terrible arguments that just, no. Look, we're here to play Kriegsspiel. Let's focus on the game. Let's focus on playing Kriegsspiel. Yes, you're entitled to your personal opinions. We're not going to persecute you because, you support Donald Trump or something. Not going to happen. We're not going to kick you out because of that. You vote for Trump, that's great. I'm glad you voted for the guy. I'm glad you got a vote. Okay? I hope your vote is counted. No problem with me. However, if you're in here and you're pushing political stuff or whatever, and it gets annoying and edgy and it's just inappropriate, yeah, we're going to act on that, okay? So, look, have some maturity and have some common sense. That's the big thing. And if you pause before you hit enter, that is your warning from your gut to telling you, maybe I should not post this, okay? So just take that approach.
Yeah. I would say, Marshall, that anybody that has that feeling that they come into games and they want to do the edgy stuff, and I come across it all the time in any games that I play, but, they find it more enjoyable to try and ruin other people's games. But in reality, if those players actually really embrace the games that we're playing here, it's much more enjoyable to do what we're doing than what they're doing. So, yeah, I'm of a mind to maybe let them do it once because they're not unsure of it, and then just be given, right, look, what we're doing here is much better than what you're trying to entertain yourself with,
Yeah.
and take that on if you want. If you want to do it again, then we're just going to go through the process. You won't have the opportunity to take part in these games. I mean, yeah. Or you just, okay, I want to play these games so much that I'm not going to be a DICK, basically. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, another update here in the realm of K23. I promised everyone it would be published yesterday, and it almost was, but life happened. Nonetheless, K23 is almost done. Credits. My dogs. Okay, we'll make that note because I have to fill out the credits page. You guys know I love dogs, but look, man, we got it all going on. I'm going to release essentially an initial version later today. It'll go up on Etsy in our Etsy store. Let me see if I can find that. Well, if I just go to Etsy, right, I'll pull it up and give you a look at it. Here it is. And it's called Kriegs Depot, and you just kind of come in here. And the K22 rules are here right now, and these are going to come off, and I'm going to move up K23. Now, K23, what is it? K23 is basically American Civil War Kriegsspiel, and the system is done. It's written. There's a couple little ticky-tack things I need to do, but I can scroll through here, and you can see, do you see that highlight there? That's a little thing there I need to see add to table, which I've actually already done. But I haven't embedded the table yet. So I've got to take the table and put it in here. All of this stuff, though, is it's completed. So once I do this, I'm going to put the initial version on Etsy, and that version is going to be text only. There'll be no illustrations. The reason for that is Etsy has a file size limit. I can't put up any size document I want. I have to put up something that's under a certain size, and the illustrations blow it up. There's probably a way around it, but I'm not sure exactly what to do. In any case, the live version, the Living Rules version, is on Google Docs. So what'll happen is if and when you buy the K23 rules on Etsy, I will give you immediate access to the rule doc on Google that will be illustrated. It is not illustrated yet. I have to take a day or two and do all the illustrations and embed them. So give me time to do that. They will be in there. But the rules, just the text alone, are absolutely sufficient to take that and play with them. I would tell people don't bother printing it, though, until the rule book is in its final form, after which there may be an occasional tweak or errata made to it, but it'll be done. But I do want to embed the illustrations in that document. Generally, because I have to fill those orders manually, on Etsy, you'll get the instant download, and then on Google, as soon as I get the notification on my phone or computer, I get right on it and I hook you up. If it happens that I'm asleep or I'm, out of pocket, if you will, I can't fulfill the order immediately, but usually I can do so within an hour or a few hours or right when I get up in the morning. So please be patient. Give me just a short bit of time to get your access to the Google Doc, but it's going to happen immediately if I can't do it sooner. It's going to happen pretty quick. In any case, the system is really excellent. It is really well refined. Last Saturday, a week ago, 8 days ago now, I ran an in-person play test of the K23 system, and it worked absolutely beautifully. It was perhaps the smoothest Kriegsspiel experience I have ever had. It went buttery smooth. I was so happy. And I have written those tweaks into the rules, and I think you'll have a similar experience. It is so good it blows K22 out of the water, in my opinion. It really does. In fact, it is so good I have to go back and revise K22 now with all of the things that I've learned over the past year and a half, and have incorporated into K23. So it's a really worthwhile system if you like the American Civil War. I have more tips and advice and other information, including how to scale units, blocks, the maps, and other things, so you'll know exactly what to do to run your own game in person or online. So there is that. All right. Let me take.
So that's the end of your advertisement in the podcast. So that's
right. Yeah, that's the whole.
Good.
That's the infomercial. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. K23, where you feel like you are an actual musket ball. It's that intense.
Yes, it is, man. You're gonna see yourself shooting downrange, man. It's amazing. James had some things that he wanted to have us cover, but I think those are a separate podcast. One is maintaining composure as a commander. I don't know. I would kind of like to hear from him what he thinks. Has someone lost composure? It can happen. I've seen it happen. I've done it to a player in a game before, in fact, where they kind of lose it. And where I was playing against them, and I guess they just had a bad run of luck. There's that. There's also correct use of American Civil War cavalry, which I think is another very good topic, because people assume American Civil War cavalry is like Napoleonic cavalry, and it's not. It's a lot more weak in terms of mounted combat. Really, a better way to think of American Civil War cavalry is mounted scouts, dismounted infantry. And that's probably the better way to see them and use them. Those rules are baked into K23, by the way. But yeah, you're not going to use them to charge stuff. There are no squares, really, and there's no charging infantry units and stuff like that. You can try, but only once, like drinking lava.
There's a reason why you don't see any portraits of American Civil War cavalry charging across the battlefield. It never happened.
There were some charges. I know that actually at the Battle of Bull Run, cavalry charged, but it was after the Union formations had routed. And they charged into the routed units and cut them down, which is a proper use of Civil War cavalry. So that's a thing. But yeah, it's just you don't have these massive cavalry formations like you do in the Napoleonic Wars. Now there were, especially mid to late war, even at Gettysburg, which you're looking at here, somewhere out here off the map, there was a big cavalry battle that took place. But again, that was kind of uncommon. It was uncommon. All right, let's talk about, and then he says the challenges of a coordinated attack. And that's another one. And I'd like to talk to everyone about how to set up and execute a coordinated attack. It's actually pretty darn hard. But again, I think that also goes into one whole episode. So today, we spent today with gossip. So on maybe next episode or two, we'll talk about these topics together, I think, in one podcast. And I think it would
I can
be a
say
great
something
topic.
about composure. There's two ways of looking at the composure question. One is from being like a general, whether you react to things in an uncomposed way, or another one would be that if you feel like you're being badly done by the umpires, that they're not implementing your orders in the correct way, or this kind of thing. The umpires aren't playing against you; they're literally just interpreting your orders in the best way that they can within the strengths and everything. So, that's a composure thing. People do get frustrated when things don't seem to be implemented in the way that they want them to. But again, that is actually what Kriegsspiel is all about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm being told that the YouTube stream has been set to private, and I don't recall doing that. I don't know why it would be set to private, but it did appear in the YouTube studio for me. So apparently, the way in which I checked to see whether or not the stream is actually streaming is wrong. I probably need to pull up YouTube as an outsider and view that. I've always just seen it because here on my screen it says, "Hey, I'm live," and it even says I have 7 concurrent viewers. See here, so I don't know what's going on. But right here at this time it came live. I don't know what's going on. YouTube is fine, I'm being told, but I think here initially it was not. It was set to private. I must have done something, and I don't know. Maybe I clicked the wrong thing. But thank you, everyone who's telling me that the YouTube is fine and you're seeing it. If there has been a hiccup, I sincerely apologize for that. However, you will be able to go back and view it in its entirety afterwards. For those of you who may have missed anything on the YouTube, there's nothing to see. I just have the Gettysburg map open in the K23 test module. I'm not drawing on the map or illustrating here, so you haven't missed anything. This is really more of a audio-based episode, so there's that. Okay, all right. I'm kind of done with what I have to say. We're actually at our time, but if anybody, I see Achilles, Marco, Paul, and Theo. I say Paul because I'm not sure how to pronounce La Fondios, I suppose. If you have something you want to pop up in here and say something, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll invite you to speak. Otherwise, I'm ready to wrap up. But speak now or forever hold your peace. Peter, what do you got?
I was going to say, Moscow, you asked me to raise my hand. I was looking on the screen to see if I could raise a hand. I couldn't see one. Then I realised if I just put my hand up, you couldn't see my hand. So,
well, you are on my other screen. That's why I'm looking over here. I've got my other screen.
We're literally being absorbed into the matrix right now. So,
yeah.
There you go. It took me a while to realise I could actually physically put my hand up, and you would notice it. So
you can do it.
Yeah, I can see your hand as well. There, that's good.
All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank you all. This episode was probably a little light on substance, but yeah, it was good to talk to you guys. Let you know that K23 is coming out. Letting you know to, hey, think twice before you hit send. If you have issues, delete the discussion channel. And Grand Waterloo's coming up. Absolutely worth your time and participation. So I hope to see you all there. Worst case, you just watch the live stream and you're going to dig it. It's going to be amazing. So, all right. Well, everybody, I want to thank you all. Thank you for tuning into the YouTube and all of that. Sorry that got messed up, but we'll check it next time properly. And that's all I've got for today. So, Peter, thank you for coming on. It was good to have you here.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to spectate in the actual room with you while you're
Of
talking.
course. No problem. You guys are all welcome. This is your podcast, so you just come right on in.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
did great.
everybody. Well, thank you all, and that's it for today. And I have to say, we will see you on our next adventure. Bye for